warm welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a new episode of Africa Today, where we get you the latest news and events taking place on the African scene. And we will start off with our major top stories and report. Upon the assignment of President Abdel al-Sisi, Minister of Foreign Affairs and Immigration, Abdel arrived in the Rwandan capital, Kigali, to participate in the inauguration ceremony of Rwandan President Paul Kagame. Foreign Ministry spokesman Ahmed Abu Zaid said on his official account on X that a representative of the Rwandan government, as well as the ministers of agriculture, education and local administration, received the top diplomat upon his arrival. Abdel expressed his appreciation to the bilateral ties between Egypt and Rwanda, which have reached a unique level. The top diplomat stressed Egypt's keenness to boost these ties in all domains. During his visit, Abdel is to hold a number of meetings with a number of senior officials attending the inauguration. The visit will comprise a number of bilateral events between Egypt and Rwanda, including talks with the Rwandan foreign and health ministers. The top diplomat is to meet with the Egyptian diaspora in Rwanda and will participate in a round table with the prominent Rwandan businessmen and representatives of the private sector. During his visit to the Rwandan capital, Kigali, Abdel held a meeting with the Professor Dr. Magdi Yaoub. The meeting discussed progress with regards to the establishment of the Magdi Yaoub Rwanda-Egypt Cardiology Center. They will both attend a ceremony marking the conclusion of the first phase of the center. Welcome back, and to shed more light, we are delighted to be joined over the phone by Mr. Rahman, journalist and political analyst. Good afternoon, sir.
Well, good afternoon to you. Hello to you and the dear viewers.
Sir, how would you describe Egypt's Africa dimension, especially before current challenges?
Well, of course, we have lots of situations that we can talk about. We have a solid and strong situation taken by the Egyptian administration towards our neighbors in Africa, our neighbors in the region. We need to enhance on our efforts to strengthen those ties between our neighbors, our friends in Africa, by all levels, at all levels, economically, industrially, agriculturally, and of course we have stepped a lot of distance in such matters.
Mm-hmm. How do you see the significance of Foreign Minister Abdel attending the swearing-in ceremony of the Rwandan president?
Well, Rwanda is one of the Nile basin countries, and it's an important and strategic visit paid by Mr. Abdel. And I believe that we need to concentrate our efforts, our influence, using our own friendly ties, our own brotherly ties, our own roots belong to Africa, by all means. And that's why we should concentrate on those concepts. We need to strengthen our ties because, first, Rwanda is one of the main countries that is connected to Nile River. That means it's connected to our own national security, water national security file. And of course, we have a lot of challenges on this file. We have actions, negative actions that was taken by some countries from out of the region with an alliance with other countries like Ethiopia. And in what we have witnessed, what's happening in Somaliland, which is not recognized by Egypt or any other country except for two countries, to be specific. That's why we need to surround and contain the foreign influence that is coming from abroad of Africa. Africa belongs to the Africans, and the Nile belongs to Egypt and all of the friendly Africans. We need to change what's going on in the African arena. We need to concentrate on expanding our own level of cooperation with Rwanda, with the Rwandan president, and with other countries around it, whether even Kenya, we have this brotherly nations, brotherly blood that connects us to Africa. We need to use this. Also, we need to use our own capabilities, especially in the field of agriculture and industry. We have proven to all of Africa that we can build mega projects, not just in Egypt, but also in Africa, like we have accomplished the Julius Nyerere Dam in Tanzania. And of course, an example can be repeated by all means. We have to fight the foreign influences that is conflicting between the East and the West in the heart of Africa. Still, we have this colonialism influence that coming from the West and from the East, and we have to fight back because it's on our own account as Egypt. We have what's called the national and international security borders, which is much beyond our own strategic borders. We need to preserve those borders by preserving our relations, our influence in the heart of Africa and in the deep until the end of the Nile, or from the beginning of the Nile.
Sir, Abdel expressed his appreciation to the bilateral ties between Egypt and Rwanda, which have reached a unique level. How would you describe the level of ties between Egypt and Rwanda?
Friendly and able to be even more strong. We have supported Rwanda in the time of the crisis, and we have supported our national security countries that belong to our own circle of interest in Africa. And of course, Rwanda was one of the main countries that remembers how we supported its nation throughout the critical and the civil war that they were going through decades before. And I believe that we have a lot to build upon. And of course, this is a very important visit paid by our foreign ministers of affairs, our Minister of Foreign Affairs, to strengthen those ties and to prove that Egypt can reach out to each and every country in the continent.
Mm-hmm. Sir, both Nile Basin countries are COMESA members. Now, how is it important for Nile Basin states to cement their trade ties?
We have a strong ties with COMESA countries, but there is, as I said, there is a breakthrough. There is a leak. There is an outsider's influence that is trying to manipulate our own best interests as Egyptians, not just as Egyptians, but as Africans. We have witnessed what's going on in Congo. What's been going on in Sudan. Some foreign fingers ignited the civil war in Sudan, and now we have on our southern borders there is a terroristic group, which is the Dam al-Sharia, just right to our own southern borders and threatening our own national security. We have to fight back all those foreign influences. We have to fight it back in the deep of Africa by strengthening ties. We don't lack those ties. We're not strangers. We are brothers in blood, brothers in roots, brothers in the Nile. And this is the only concept that we can make it clear to our associates in Africa, especially right now in Rwanda.
Yes, sir, inter-African trade is still the lowest compared to other continents. Now, how would you list the reasons for this constriction?
Well, of course, I remember that Mr. President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, when he started leading the African Union, our presidency led the whole continent into the international economical crème de la crème, the best summits in the G20, in the G7. We have led our neighbors, our friends, our brothers in the continent to those mega summits with our own influence, with our own strong relations with the bigger countries, whether to the east or to the west. We can build upon this again. We can strengthen our own steps that we have already taken 7 years ago. We have to regain our influence back to Africa even more stronger, even now, because we are fighting the same colonial and foreign influence that is threatening our own best interests, not just in Africa, but in the whole region.
Thank you so much, Mr. Amr Abdurrahman, a journalist and political analyst. Many thanks for your insights, sir. And dear viewers, we now go to our special reports. Cairo affirmed its strong commitment to enhancing peace and security across Africa. This came during phone calls held with the foreign ministers of a number of African states. More in the following report.
Cairo affirmed its strong commitment to enhancing peace and security across the African continent, prioritizing key issues for African nations. Badr Abdel emphasized in phone calls with several African counterparts that Egypt will consistently support African nations at the regional and international levels, according to the Egyptian ministry statement. Speaking to his Burkina Faso counterpart, Karamoko Jean-Marie Traoré, over the phone, the Egyptian top diplomat affirmed the country's support for Burkina Faso in combating cross-border crime. Discussions also covered the escalating security challenges in the region and their impact on West African countries and the efforts made to address them. Also in a call with his Nigerian counterpart, Bakari Yao Sangare, Abdelhati underscored Egypt's role in assisting Niger in combating terrorism and building national capacities. Both sides also reviewed the latest developments in the Sahel region and West Africa and other regional and international issues. Furthermore, Abdelhati reiterated to his Malian counterpart, Abdoulaye Diop, Cairo's ongoing efforts to bolster security and stability in West Africa and support national governments in reclaiming sovereignty over their territories and combating terrorism. For his part, Diop expressed gratitude to Egypt for providing training programs that build financial capabilities, share diverse expertise across various fields, and strengthen national institutions.
With our special reports, Mali expelled the Swedish ambassador from the country following hostile statements by the Swedish Minister of International Development, Cooperation and Trade. The minister said the Swedish minister had decided to phase out bilateral aid to Mali due to its ties with Moscow.
Mali has ordered Sweden's ambassador to leave the country within 72 hours because of what it called a hostile statement by a Swedish minister. Ambassador Christina Cornell's expulsion came after Mali on Monday announced it was severing diplomatic ties with Ukraine. It accused a senior Ukrainian official of suggesting that Kiev had provided help to Tuareg rebels who claimed to have killed dozens of mercenaries from Russia's Wagner Group and Malian soldiers in July. Ukraine has denied any involvement in the fighting in northern Mali. Bamako's decision to cut ties with Kiev prompted Sweden's Minister for International Development Cooperation and Trade, Johan Forsell, to say on Wednesday that the government had decided to phase out bilateral aid to Mali due to its ties to Moscow. Forsell said on social media platform X that, quote, "You cannot support Russia's illegal war of aggression against Ukraine and at the same time receive several hundred million kroner each year in development aid." Relations between Mali and the West have frayed since a military junta seized power in 2020 and staged another coup the following year. Mali and its neighbors Niger and Burkina Faso, also led by juntas, have pivoted away from their traditional Western allies to form closer ties with Russia.
Egypt's Ahmed Gendi became the first athlete from Africa to win the Olympic pentathlon's gold medal. He is the first gold medal winner in the 2024 Olympics to bring the award to Egypt. More details.
Ahmed El Gendi of Egypt became the first athlete from Africa to win the Olympic gold medal in modern pentathlon on Saturday at the Paris Olympics. Ilgindi, the silver medalist in Tokyo 3 years ago, had a 17-second head start for the laser run, the final event combining distance running and shooting, after the earlier strong showings in the horse riding, fencing and swimming events. Ilgindi's lead was never seriously threatened on the laser run, where he won by 13 seconds over Taishu Sato of Japan. Giorgi Milan of Italy captured the bronze. Ilgindi's total score of 1,555 points was a world record. The Paris Olympics are the last time modern pentathlon will include horse riding as part of its program before it brings in American Ninja Warrior-style obstacle courses for the 2028 Los Angeles Games. He is the first gold medal winner in the 2024 Olympics to bring the award to his home country.
With that sports report, we come to the end of this edition of Africa Today. Many thanks for watching and stay tuned for more coming up here on Nile TV International.